Hello and welcome to Gaming News with Jake. Here you'll find all the gaming news by me. Probably. In this episode of Gaming News with Jake, I'm going to be covering the rest of E3 2017's press conferences, so that includes EA, Bethesda and Ubisoft. So, let's get right onto it. So, first of all, I'm just going to get Bethesda's out of the way with, because in all honesty, and I think anyone would agree with me, it was a load of poo. I don't know why they were there, to be honest. So yeah, this is literally going to take like a minute or so to cover. Doom VFR is coming out, and I imagine that stands for virtual fucking reality. And yeah, they showed a quick little gameplay teaser of it. It's not much, it's just Doom in virtual reality. And I don't think they had a release date for it. And if they did, I probably missed it. So, whoops. Fallout 4. Oh my god! Fallout 4. Fallout 4. I keep saying Vor. I keep saying Fallout 4. Like, but no, then I said it. Fallout 4. Vor. Why do I say Vor? That's a bloody, like, eating fetish thing, isn't it? Like, pretending to get eaten by a giant or whatever. Like, don't ask me how I know that. Fallout 4 VR is coming out in October, and I said this about Skyrim VR. It sounds cool on paper, but I just don't see myself or many others playing that game for hundreds of hours in virtual reality, because I bet your motion sickness is an absolute bitch on that. So yeah, that's all there is to that. They showed a little trailer of it working and stuff, but yeah, that's coming out in October. Skyrim is coming to Nintendo Switch with amiibo functionality this autumn, and what they showed is the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Link amiibo being used, and what that did was spawn in a treasure chest, and inside contained the Master Sword and Link's outfit from Breath of the Wild, so you can use that in Skyrim. But at this point, it's kind of getting a bit ridiculous of how many versions of Skyrim they want to release. So I'm kind of thinking, when are you going to do something new? No offense, Bethesda. A Dishonored 2 expansion got announced, Dishonored 2, Death of the Outsider, and Dowd is making a return. Dowd was the assassin in Dishonored 1. So yeah, that's all cool. I really like Dishonored 1 and I really like Dishonored 2, so I'll probably definitely pick that up, and that is coming out on 15th of September. The Evil Within 2 got announced, and I'm really chuffed about this. I really enjoyed The Evil Within. I know a lot of people didn't, but personally I did, so I'm happy to see that it's making a return and having a second chance. I felt like in the first one it's not a perfect game, I will admit that, and there were some things what did annoy me and frustrate me, but with a sequel, hopefully they can get rid of those problems and make it into something really good and a really good survival horror game. So that is coming out October 13th of this year. And to close off their press conference, they announced Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. Now, I really liked Wolfenstein, the New Order. I thought it was a really good shooter. I thought it had interesting characters, so I'm all up for a sequel. I'm really looking forward to that. They showed like a really big gameplay trailer of it. I think it was like 10 minutes long. But yeah, it looks like your Wolfenstein. It looks really cool. And that comes out the 27th of October of this year. Now I'm going to be talking about EA's press conference, and to open up their conference they had some drum playing shit. I don't know what the hell it was, but it was the announcement of Madden 18, which, being in the UK, Madden has like no interest to me, so yeah, Madden 18 is coming out, I suppose. So if you're a Madden fan, look forward to that. Battlefield 1 got some new DLC announced, and that's coming out in September. It contains some new maps and a new Russian team with new weapons and vehicles, etc. So if you're a Battlefield 1 fan, then you have that looked forward to. FIFA 18 was announced, and I don't really care for FIFA and just sports games in general, so this is what EA's press conference always consists of. It's just sports games. So yeah, if you're a fan of FIFA, just know that FIFA 18 is coming, and the Journey is coming back as well, which was like the story mode in FIFA 17. So yeah, moving on. Need for Speed Payback got some gameplay, and from the looks of it, it looks like Fast and Furious. Which, that's not exactly a bad thing. I really enjoy the Fast and Furious movies, because they're just so over the top and crazy, and you know, they know that, and they just go all out with it, and it's just they're just movies that you can just switch your brain off and just be like, okay, yeah, some cool action is happening in these movies. So yeah, hopefully some cool action will happen in Need for Speed Payback. From the makers of Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, they announced a new game called A Way Out. Now, this was probably the biggest thing of EA's press conference, and it's definitely looking promising, and I've definitely got my eye on this. So what it is that it's like a prison break sort of game, and it's story driven as well, but you need to play it in co-op, so you need you and a buddy. It's online or it's split screen, but to everyone's surprise, he really does suggest that you play it split screen, because the catch is that the two people you play as, there is like huge differences on whichever character you play as. Now, one example he showed is that one of the characters has just been put in prison, and he was going through all the procedures and stuff, while the other character has been in prison for quite a while, and he was just doing his own thing in his prison cell. Like, he had no interaction with the other character, he couldn't even see him and stuff. So yeah, that's how it's going to be, and each player is going to play as those two different characters, so there's going to be moments where just perspectives are completely different from one another. So yeah, it's very promising. It's definitely a game I've got my eye on. So yeah, looking forward to that. Yet again, some more sports games. NBA 18 got announced, and there's going to be some like story mode like in FIFA 18. So yeah, that's as much as I can say on that, because in all honesty, I have no idea what I'm even talking about with that. So yeah, moving on. And to close off their press conference, they showed some Star Wars Battlefront 2, and what they showed was a live gameplay demo of it. Now, I know that Battlefront 1 got a lot of hate, considering that the game was very slim at release date, and then they expected you to pay for their DLC for a multiplayer only game. Like, that's suicide. So they made that a big deal that in Battlefront 2 all DLC is going to be free, so that's a huge positive. And there's going to be story mode as well, so hopefully that's going to be good. I'm hoping that's not just some like tacked on thing, but that's aiming towards a November release date. I can't really say much on Battlefront because I'm not a Star Wars fan, but you know, I know when a game looks pretty good. Battlefront 2 definitely looks like a step up from Battlefront 1, so I hope that it is. Now moving on to Ubisoft's press conference, and I gotta say, Ubisoft put on a very good show. So they opened up with Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and that game looks goddamn awesome. I don't think anyone was expecting that game to look any good, because it got leaked and rumoured like quite a few months back. And just when you say that, like, Mario plus Rabbids, like, what do you expect from that? But from what they showed, I think it surprised everyone. That game looks awesome. It's definitely a game what I probably will pick up for the Switch if it's any good. So what it is that the Rabbids have taken over the Mario universe. Apparently some washing machine was involved or something like that. And there's good Rabbids and bad Rabbids. So the good Rabbids have joined up with Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Peach, etc. And yeah, they've teamed up and they're trying to take out the bad rabbits and make the Mario universe normal again. And what it is, it looks like some XCOM sort of game. Like, it's a turn-based, like, strategy tactic game, and yeah, it looks awesome. Like, I was so surprised. Like, it's so cool. So yeah, like, if you want to see that, definitely go watch it. It's definitely something new for Mario. And yeah, that's coming out this year, August 29th. It's definitely a game to look out for if you have a Nintendo Switch. The Crew 2 got announced, and that's coming out early 2018. Again, I'm not really into cars or racing games, so this doesn't really interest me. I know that The Crew, the first The Crew, kind of got a bit mixed reception. I've heard that people say that there was a lot of promise there, and a lot of potential, but it didn't exactly mash up well together, so who knows, the sequel could fix a lot of those problems. And you can drive cars, bikes, planes, boats, you can do like motorsports as well, and like street racing. So yeah, they're going all out with it by the looks of it, just in terms of what you can drive in this world. But yeah, that's as much as I can say on it. So moving on. South Park South Park The Fractured But Whole got a gameplay trailer, and it's coming out October 17th. I really enjoyed South Park The Stick of Truth. I definitely think that surprised a lot of people with how good that game turned out to be, considering of how much that went through in like development hell. So yeah, I'm hoping that they can do that again with this sequel. A new IP got announced called Skull and Bones, and it's a pirate game, so it's a very ballsy move to make a pirate game now with Sea of Thieves around the corner. But what this game is, it's a 5v5 PvP pirate game. You're in ships and you're shooting one another in the sea and collecting treasure and loot. It's running off the Black Flag engine, like, so the ship combat in Black Flag, they've kind of made their own thing with that in this game. And there looks like there's going to be like a Kraken as well at some point. But yeah, a new pirate game is coming. Then that's another new IP called STARLINK Battle for Atlas. And what it is that it's like a spaceship sort of game, but it's a toy-to-life game. So what you do is that you buy parts, what you attach to this thing, which then attaches to your controller, and it's some huge bulky thing. I'm not a fan of it at all. It looks super uncomfortable, but I'm not really sure how that game would do with this toy-to-life things, considering you can buy different parts and swap them out and put them onto one another. It's, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see on that. Far Cry 5 got a gameplay trailer, and from what the story is that a cult has overtaken a part of America. They've blocked off all the roads, they've shut down all the signals so you can't call for help or anything, and you're trying to escape. So I'm a bit worried, because when they first showed it, it looked like they were going with like a really dark and gritty sort of feel to the game. And that got a huge backlash, like massive, which I'm all like, man, people, shut the fuck up, like, man up, it's a video game, you know, it's not real, just whatever, like, grow up sort of thing. And so in this gameplay trailer, they showed it like, all wacky and crazy music and just, yeah, so now I don't know what to think about that game. Like, I hope that they were going to go with a dark theme sort of like to it. That would have been cool. I mean, they might do yet. They might have just made that trailer just to shut everyone up who's complaining, just to be like, look, shut the fuck up. That sort of thing. But yeah, I enjoyed Far Cry 3. I enjoyed Far Cry 4, even though it's kind of like the same game. But yeah, I enjoyed it. So I hope that Far Cry 5 can do different things and it's not just the same game. So, yeah. And to close off their press conference, Beyond Good and Evil 2 got announced again. So, this is a complete rehaul to what was announced, like, however many years ago that first one was announced. Can't really say much about Beyond Good and Evil because I haven't really played that game. But from what we know is that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is going to be a prequel, and it could be an online-only game. Possibly. Again, I could be wrong about that. Very little information was shown on this game or was talked about, so we'll just have to wait and see until more information comes out for that game. And that wraps it up for this episode of Gaming News with Jake, and also E3 2017. I'm probably going to take a couple weeks break from doing this, so the news from E3 like dies down. So until then,